Between these two cases, the Incipio Atlas and the Ballistic Hydra, if you're looking for everyday protection, go with the Ballistic Hydra. If you're looking for a really tough case that you're only going to install once, maybe go with the Incipio Atlas, but both of these cases, they've got fatal flaws to them.
Real usage, real reviews. MobileReviewsA.ca.
Hey, it's Aaron from MobileReviewsA.ca, and today we're going to do a comparison video between the Incipio Atlas and the Ballistic Hydra. So if you're looking to buy either an Incipio Atlas or a Ballistic Hydra, you need to know two things. The first thing is that this plastic diaper in the bottom of the Incipio Atlas is a little hard to take apart, so if charging your phone is important, you probably shouldn't go with this case. The other, with the Ballistic Hydra, if taking phone calls is important and listening to people talk to you over it, then you probably shouldn't get the Ballistic Hydra. Now at MobileReviewsA.ca, we base our reviews on actual usage, and we've spent several weeks with both of these cases, and we give this case, the Incipio Atlas, a score of 3.4 A's out of 5, and the Ballistic Hydra gets a score of 3.6 A's out of 5. So in terms of, overall rating, they're a little lower than a lot of the other cases that we've reviewed. Now our score is broken down into three parts. You have the design, you have the protection, and you have the functionality. In terms of design, the weight and bulk of the cases, they weigh about the same, though the Ballistic Hydra is a little bigger than the Incipio Atlas. Now, the bulkiness is kind of uniform around the entire case, whereas in the Incipio Atlas, the bottom has this plastic diaper. So, when it's installed, it's not too bad, but, your case has a little flappy flap, which is a little annoying. In terms of the ease of installation, that goes to the Ballistic Hydra because, they have these things called active latches. And all you do is just, if you want to uninstall the cases, you just take the active latches apart and you take your phone out. Now the Incipio Atlas is a different beast on its own. Instructions tell you to put your finger into this hole at the top and you pull back as hard as you possibly can. And your fingernail actually can get stuck in here, and so you'll pull very hard and then you might pull your fingernail off your finger, so it really hurts. So installing your case is pretty painful, so if you swap your phone out of your case a lot, this might not be the best case for it. In terms of build quality, both of these cases are, they're the second ones that we've had from the manufacturer. The first ones that they sent us weren't actually waterproof for both of these cases. So in general, the build quality is a little lower. The Ballistic Hydra, the screen protector scratches very easily. So, when you pull it out of the box and you look at the screen protector, it's pristine, there's no scratches. But the moment that you run your hand over it, trying to clear some dust away or wipe it with a rag, yeah, you're gonna scratch up the screen protector, and it's very, very evident when you look at your phone. The Incipio Atlas has a glass screen protector, so scratching it really isn't that much of a problem. But we've taken our phone in and out of this case so much that we've actually tore the back off the case. Now, we basically put all our cases through the same number of installs and uninstalls because we have to take pictures and everything. And so this is the first time that we've actually broke a case like this. So the build quality for the Incipio Atlas is a little lower, but again, we do put our cases through a lot. Now in terms of protection, the Incipio Atlas wins hands down. It's an incredibly droppable, waterproof case. We shot it like a clay pigeon with a Nerf gun. We also tossed into a river. Again, phone still works. Screen protection, it's got a glass screen protector, which is great. So Agata in her drop test actually dropped it face first onto a gravel parking lot. Our phone still works, and you can tell that there is this ding on the screen. Now for the Ballistic Hydra, droppability, it's very droppable, and part of the droppability comes from the fact that the phone doesn't actually sit really on the case. There's all these plastic nubs on the side, so it kind of props the case up, and that's kind of where a lot of the drop protection for the Ballistic Hydra comes from. Now in terms of water protection, our second case was kind of waterproof. You have to install it in a certain way that they don't really tell you in the instruction manual. You have to make sure that the teeth of the screen protector are really pressed in, because the top piece, the active latch part, doesn't really hold it all together that well. You really need to push in the little screen protector teeth into the bottom of the case. But the problem with the waterproofness is that we took a very close look at both of our cases, and we couldn't tell why one was better than the other. We couldn't tell why one was waterproof and the other one wasn't. And that's troubling to us because we go through this entire process of testing it and then we try to figure out what's wrong with it, and we can't. So we can't tell you what to look for if you're looking to buy this case. Now in terms of screen protection for the Ballistic Hydra, it's got a plastic screen protector. It's a lot thicker than most, so it offers a higher than average amount of screen protection. In terms of functionality, that goes to the Ballistic Hydra. One of the things that we found out during our usage was that listening to anybody through the head piece speaker, well, I don't know what it is, but it makes it sound very, very funny. So if it's kind of, there's like a wire mesh that protects that, provides that waterproofness and also allows some of the sound out, but it seems to be vibrating against the phone. And so you kind of get this reverb, this echo, and it makes it sound like you're talking to somebody from like the 1950s. In terms of screen usability, the Ballistic Hydra probably has one of the best layouts that we've seen. There isn't a plastic bumper at the bottom that kind of covers up the swipe area that you have to use to get to your control center. So you can easily get to your control center, the camera, as well as your daily summary with the Ballistic Hydra. Now in terms of the viewability of the screen, that's a little lower than average, only because the screen scratches so easily. So it's one of those things where we just feel like the screen protector is very nice, but the scratchability is really, really poor, so that kind of knocks down the viewability. Now, I must add that the glare coming off the screen protector is almost minimal, doesn't exist. So it's a very nice screen protector in that manner. In terms of the functionality for the Incipio Atlas, now you can hear things fairly well, which is, you know, the knock that we have against the Hydra, but trying to access your ports is a little painful. So you have this plastic diaper at the bottom of this case. And again, we've taken this case apart so many times that you'd think it'd just be easier to take apart. And so, you know, to take it apart, you kind of have to shove your finger into this little latch. And again, it's the same problem as the top, is that your fingernail might get caught and then you pull your fingernail from your finger and it hurts. Another thing to note is that the mute ringer switch at the top, it's a really hard plastic nub and it juts out quite a bit. And so if you're not careful and you've got this in your pocket, it will scratch your skin and you will feel it. In terms of the screen usability, it does have a glass screen protector, but in the process of installing and uninstalling it, the contact between the glass screen protector and the phone varied wildly. Like, we tried to make a video for it and we did about 8 takes and we couldn't come up with a conclusion of why one installation would work better than the other. You know, we tried normalizing the pressure inside the case and everything. It didn't quite work out for us. So using the iOS control center is a little difficult with this case. Now, in terms of the viewability, it has a glass screen protector, doesn't offer a lot more, actually doesn't add any additional glare, but it's not fingerprint resistant. So there's another case, the Lunatik Taktik Extreme, which has a Gorilla Glass screen protector, and that actually reduces the amount of fingerprint smudges that you leave, but not the case for the Incipio Atlas, because it just seems like it's a magnet for fingerprints. Now, the last thing we look at is the case enhancements. And so the Incipio Atlas comes with a waterproof plug, which, if installed properly, allows you to use your phone underwater if you have underwater headphones as well. The key is installing it properly, because we did a couple of tests, and unless you really just shove it in as hard as you possibly can, your case isn't going to be waterproof with that plug. Now, the Hydra doesn't come with any waterproofing accessories, but it does come with a belt holster. And this belt holster is probably 40 notches above the Ballistic Everyone's belt holster. So if you're one of those fancy business people who have to wear their phones on the side of their hip, putting it in sideways on your hip is very doable with the Ballistic Hydra's belt holster. This case got a score of 3.6, the Atlas got a score of 3.4. They're about the same. There's some fatal flaws with both of these cases. Again, we've done full reviews, full drop tests, and full water tests, so if you stick to the very end, we've got annotations for those videos. If you have any questions about these cases, leave them in the comments section below. I'm Aaron the Ho. I'm a reviewer at mobilereviewsa.ca, and keep your phones dry and safe generally with these cases.